Hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Do you ever find yourself stuck in a particular state? Maybe you've been working hard and you just can't get yourself out of that work mentality even when you're back home after work's finished. Well, I've just worked with a client that wanted to solve this problem and have more of a James Bond mindset. And if you think of the character James Bond, he's able to go from this kind of chasing spies and kind of running away from danger to then relaxing in a casino or lying on a beach. And it seems effortless. And the client that I was working with had James Bond as a kind of a fictional role model that they wanted to emulate that ability to switch states rapidly, to go from focus to joy, from intensity to an ease and carefree nature. And that's what this session is all about. So if you like the idea of activating a James Bond mindset, or you want to be able to change your moods and your states quickly, I think you'll benefit from this. It's got lots of metaphors. It's got lots of suggestions. It's got NLP anchoring in there. And also certain other things like how music and fragrances and even the clothing that you wear can actually give clues to your unconscious as to what kind of state you want to be in. All of which is quite useful if you want that adaptability. If you like what I do, have a look in the description. You're going to find lots of free stuff there, free downloads, free courses, or you can even have a free consultation call to explore working with me. But for now, you might actually get some value from this particular session. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you're not going to be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just feel a wonderful sense of release, as if any tension, worries is starting to leave your body in your outward breath. And as you breathe in deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, feel a heaviness on your eyelids, combined with pure relaxation. And with your eyes closed, notice how much easier it becomes to focus on the sound of my voice. Breathing in that relaxation and continuing to exhale tension. Each breath takes you deeper and deeper relaxed. And as you continue to breathe in and out, you may already notice just how easy it is to let go, to release the tension of the day, and to allow your unconscious mind to do the work for you. And I want you to evaluate what you've done so far in your life. The business you run and the problems you've solved, the goals you've achieved. Is irrefutable evidence that you can handle intensity, pressure, and constant surprises. And yet, the very same mind that rises to those challenges can also relax, recharge, and enjoy the freedom that you are building, and allow that freedom to feel like it contains more fun, more connection, and more joy. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine your own private cinema. And just imagine walking into that room and seeing on the movie screen perhaps your favorite James Bond film. See the actor playing him, and maybe see a particular moment that makes you feel this is a person that can be resourceful, calm under pressure, hyper-focus when it matters most. And yet, within seconds, he can be at ease, social, playful, charismatic, totally relaxed in any environment. And just be the observer. Life in danger in one moment, smiling and making a joke the next. Doing what needs to be done in one moment, and casually flirting in the next. And I want you to observe that ability to switch states quickly, effortlessly, and to acknowledge that that ability exists in you too. And I'd like you to imagine what it would feel like to move from the cinema into the screen, to step into that character in that scene or that moment, and to feel how effortlessly you can switch from hyper-focus to playful joy. And I want you to search inside your body for where it feels like this feeling exists. That ability to instantly adapt. And I want you to imagine wherever that feeling is, that it turns into a shape, and then a color, and that it moves. And I want you to imagine what shape that effortless adaptability would be. Imagine a three-dimensional shape. Because when it's three-dimensional, you get to notice three-dimensional movements. Some people will feel courage in their heart or anxiety in their gut. But I want you to scan your body for where it feels like this effortless adaptability exists. And then imagine if it has a color, what color it is, and make that color brighter. And if it moves like a rotation or pulsation, how it moves. And make it move faster to amplify this ability to switch between states. And then I want you to imagine holding on to that feeling of switching and climbing into an Aston Martin, the latest model. And I want you to imagine that this car starts as a manual stick shift. It's powerful. You can hear the engine roaring, but it requires intention every time you change gear. And I want you to imagine that changing emotional states becomes more cumbersome if you have to consciously decide every time you change that gear, every time you change that state. But then I want you to see a control panel there inside the car, and it dawns on you, this car gives you the option to switch from manual to automatic. And as you switch the car from manual to automatic, I want you to accept the suggestion that this is also taking place with your ability to effortlessly adapt and change your emotional state. That you don't have to intend. Your brain is a supercomputer, and it will allow you to change your emotional state intuitively, automatically, depending on what state you need most. And inside that car, I want you to see other switches. One for focus and determination, one for calm and relaxation, one for joy and excitement, and another for love and connection. And let's just consider this a thought experiment. I want you to imagine clicking hyper-focus, determined, and obsessed in the best possible way. As you now imagine the car is parked, but there is a screen inside the car that shows you exactly the best environments for you to be that hyper-focused, determined, and obsessed version of you. And maybe it's dealing with a crisis, an emergency, or this four-dimensional chess where you have to think 10 moves ahead. But then notice that when you click relaxed, at ease, smiling and social, how quickly the screen can show you, even seconds later, smiling and carefree, oozing joy and social confidence. And then click fun-loving and carefree, and now see you in a different environment. Perhaps still social, but not necessarily so. But you can tell from your facial expression, your body language, that there is a carefree energy to you. That you can go from hyper-focused and determined to smiling, to carefree and fun-loving, and then click another switch and go to loving, peaceful, or connected. And maybe see yourself with someone you love and see that pure connection between you and them. And I want you to imagine you can do this through intention, or you can do it intuitively. And intuitively means there's nothing you need to do, as your body will respond for you. At any point, you can switch from manual to automatic, intentional to intuitive. And I want you to imagine that there are ways that you can give clues to your mind, that supercomputer, as to what emotional states you would like it to visit, depending on the situation or circumstances that you're in. I want you to imagine playing certain music. And there might be music that you play that makes you feel focused and obsessed, and other music that makes you feel carefree and light-hearted, and others that make you feel energized, ready for a great workout, or another playlist that makes you feel romantic or with a desire to connect at that emotional level. And sometimes it's music, but sometimes it might be smells, fragrances, and not just the kind of fragrances you spray on your skin. It could be the fragrance of certain foods. It could be the fragrance someone else wears. It might be the fragrance that exists in different environments. A farm will have a different smell than an office, which has a different smell to the home. And I want you to feel that your unconscious is learning, connecting, joining the dots. So certain sounds, certain smells activate intuitively the emotional state most useful or beneficial to you. Because your unconscious mind knows that each state, or a combination of states, is always available to you. And switching is effortless. And I want you to feel that you are unleashing your own inner James Bond, where you can go from feeling that action orientation to complete peace and relaxation, from intensity to playfulness, from high stakes to high enjoyment. I want you to get a sense that smells, music, but sometimes even accessories like a watch, a bracelet, a hat, those things can also activate certain states. That when you put it on or feel it on your skin, it becomes the signal to your unconscious mind. Now it's time to switch. And your unconscious mind is learning this ability now, quickly, effortlessly, naturally. And I wonder if you can also notice that James Bond belief system that life is short, and if you work hard, then play hard. And that doesn't have to be hard physical work. It can be intellectual work. The idea that the more effort, focus, and intensity you apply to your business, the greater your desire and motivation becomes for all things that give you joy. Family, exercise, social situations, or perhaps just a powerful connection. As you acknowledge that work fuels play, but also play recharges the batteries required to work even harder. And in doing so, you have this wonderful flywheel where both give your life balance, energy, and vitality. One feeds off the other, which then feeds the other. And from this point on, every time, consciously or unconsciously, you sense the need to change from intensity to ease, from focus to fun, from work to play, you will remember this power within you as you imagine that switch on that Aston Martin. You can do it consciously and deliberately, or switch to automatic, and it becomes intuitive and effortless. And the absence of you doing it intentionally means the default is that it is always automatic. I want you to imagine leaving that car, jumping back in reverse through the screen, finding yourself in that cinema as the James Bond movie turns now into your life in the future, in the near future. I want you to see yourself perhaps in a period that you can consider a boot camp, a training ground for your emotions, training at altitude. And I want you to see yourself going from intensity to that ease of life. See yourself going from laser focused when the pressure is on, and then almost instantly see yourself relaxed, smiling, carefree with loved ones. See yourself determined and powerful in your business, and then joyful, fun-loving, and peaceful in your personal life. Because you are both. And you can become whichever version of you is needed in that moment. Consider yourself a Renaissance man, capable of many things. You can be the confident entrepreneur, the relaxed, fun-loving soul, the loving partner, and then the joyful friend. It's all you, and you can switch easily. And when you can see that future version of you with that effortless adaptability, with that James Bond-like ability to go from work to play, let me know by nodding your head. And then just get a sense that it's time to leave this cinema. But that shape, that colour, that resourceful feeling of being able to switch is still there in that location within you. So as you leave the cinema, feel yourself floating all the way back to where you are right now. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Hypnotist. And if you've got some value from this episode, I'd like to ask a favor. And that is that all of the platforms have some way of you telling us that you like it. And that might be hitting the like button, that might be giving it a 5-star rating or a short review. And if it's possible, and it is on Spotify and YouTube, if you can drop a comment with what value you got from the show or anything you liked in particular, that really helps the algorithm to put it in front of new people. Thank you so much again for joining me on this episode, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.